Hello, everybody, and welcome to the return of Hit Chat Chit Chat. I am your co-host, Connor Reynolds, and here beside me, I have Mr. Connor Burns from the Great White North. Connor, how you doing, sir?
Doing pretty well. Had a massage this morning, feeling nice and loose and limber. Good to go.
Oh my, sir. Oh my. I've never had a
Are you feeling
massage.
what?
I know. I mean, like,
Sick.
probably like Pete, like athletic trainer, fucking like rubbing out a muscle, deep tissue, like them wanting to kill you, kind of shit. I've never had like just a true massage. I'd probably be a lot better this morning if I had a massage as well. As usual, we always hit the normal technical difficulties. And so I'm very, very excited to get an episode out to the people. We had, I think, what was it, like 3 episodes that we had
Yeah.
stocked up that we're going to release. And then in the mix of me moving from Seattle to Denver, and we will get everyone caught up on that. Those were not found. I got a new company computer, and so the old ones were on the old computer, and then I moved and built my own computer, and then, like I said, we got new company computers, and so somewhere in the mix of cloud drivers and different things like that, uh, we lost a few episodes. So now we are here looking to run it back. Bernsey, what's been new with you, sir?
And nothing much. I mean, just deep into the off season. Obviously, it's different up here than down there. Our off season runs a lot more because we can't play baseball outside for very long. But no, kind of just starting to finally ramp up towards this season. The team I coach, they start playing in 5 weeks here. April 20th is their first game. So just in terms of practice planning, development wise, I'm kind of mixing in a lot more in-game stuff, especially on the hitting side. Way more challenging stuff. A lot of two hack, a lot of tough environments. Still training bat speed. I'm still doing. We in 5 weeks, it's a lot of time. You can still, whatever we're working on mechanically, we can still make some big gains that way. So we're still doing that stuff, but um, we still got to kind of get into that in-game mode, and we got to be able to get a bunt down. We got to do stuff like that. We got to know what the hitting signs are. Today we're going to run over our bunt defense for the first time in a while. Super easy, so they shouldn't mess it up, but we'll see. But yeah, just kind of starting to ramp up to the in-game mode. I can't wait to get outside. Um, it's going to be awesome. But yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. So you said you've been running a lot of two hack. Uh, when you're running two hack, because we actually had a nice little text chain with the old group chat about going over offset open and a normal like machine versus an offset machine with like a normal stance, different things like that. So like, what two hack variations have you been looking to run so far?
Um, right now we've kind of been fixing. I've been more going just kind of high like top of the zone fastballs with our big guy ramping up to 90s, kind of that range. And then with our junior hack, I've been mixing in kind of a hard slider. I'll mix in a lefty slider, a righty slider, kind of depends, and just like a straight 12-6. I've been kind of doing more just fastball top of the zone 12-6, just because you know, kind of same starting point, that type of thing. So I've been doing that a lot lately. But with that too, we actually ordered a ton of new smash factors, which we needed desperately. So we've ordered those. So we've been cranking, just kind of going full fastball, smash factors on that one and getting it up to a pretty high velo. And yeah, so it's kind of a mix. Like we'll do two hack and then we'll kind of isolate one machine just throwing sliders and then another cage doing fastballs and then kind of put those together. But
I One thing that I like about the smash factors, or not just the smash factors directly, but like any foam ball, the more that they get used, the more they get hit, the little bit lighter that they become. one thing that I really like about being able to have like a mixed bucket of like newer foams, older foams, different things like that, is if you're riding that top of the zone with a new foam, that thing's going to stay at the top. With an older foam, that thing's just going to take off. And for those players, like, even if you are having that 12.6 machine in there with it, even if you're not, just having that variation brings out so much difficulty in that environment, let alone adding, difference in the horizontal angle that the pitch is coming in at with an extreme offset open, extreme offset close, different things like that. Like, the junior hacks can be a lot of fun, dude. And then also just like any machines in off season, like it's so much fun to play around and utilize.
Yeah, and I get a big thing too with a little pushback where it's like, well, it's cutting, it's whatever. It's like, yeah, man, like that's what's gonna happen in a game. So like, it'd be stupid for us to just have a machine that was perfect and in the same spot every single time. Like, I like that it fucking does that shit. Like, that's what it's gonna happen in a game, man. A pitcher's gonna cut a pitch one time. A pitcher's gonna have a sink or whatever it is. Like, you need to be able to adjust to that. Like, it's not gonna be the same location every single time. So I don't know what the problem is, but they've been getting better at it though, which is good.
Um, Update on myself. So as I mentioned in the intro, moved back. I am in Colorado. Cool thing though with it is still with Driveline. So I am now in a remote role to where I am the team development and recruiting coordinator of Driveline Academy. So that is our 11 to I apologize, our 10 to 18U teams. We have a facility in Washington, facility in Arizona. I oversee, create all of the practice plans for all of those outdoor practices. I work and meet with all the coaches to educate them and put them in the right spots to make sure that they're successful. We have weekly meetings. And then I handle all the college recruiting for all of our athletes and different stuff like that. And so there's one role that I'm in. I'm also an online trainer with Driveline Academy online. And so if anyone's listening and interested, speaking out to one person that has been constantly in my DMs and is actually one of my online trainees, Keith. Shout out to Mr. Keith Fields. Want to thank you for staying constant in the comments in my DMs, and then just wanted to make sure that we get another Hit Chat Chit Chat out there. So very, very appreciative of you consistently reaching out. Very pumped to be able to work with you moving forward. And yeah, so that's kind of like been some of the updates with myself. I am still doing some online training with hitting and throwing and different things like that. Not necessarily doing lessons anymore. Not necessarily a on the floor when it comes to hitting, but very much excited to still be able to talk with Mr. Burns and go from there. Another update, as you can see, we only have three of us, or I apologize, we only have two of us instead of the three of us on here. Mr. JP Fashone, it is official. He's posted it on social media and stuff like that, so I can say it. He is no longer with Driveline, and he has moved on, and he is with the Boston Red Sox. He's their single A hitting coach in their minor league system. And so I want to give a shout out to JP. There is speak, and we're working to try and see if we can find a day to where we can consistently have all three of us meet up again. His schedule is going to be a little bit more constrained and based on others. And so I want to give a shout out to him. Congratulations to that guy and all of us being able to move up in this world. Pretty excited. Burnsy, you guys are you guys even a year and a half beyond having your new facility?
Actually, it was a year on March 3rd. 1 year on March 3rd. So
we got new facilities up in the Great White North. I'm moving back to Colorado, working remote. JP is working in the minors. So Hit Chat Chit Chat doing pretty well. Very excited for ourselves together as a podcast for our own individual success. That has come at the expense of being able to do these consistently which we are very much excited, though, to get back into, especially with the season getting started and rocking and rolling. So, yeah, want to do a little house cleaning, get you guys updated on some few different things.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm excited too now that Reynolds, like we're on a similar role and we're dealing with kind of similar things. We're going to be able to kind of talk about that, um, especially like recruiting wise and stuff like that. Just dealing with youth athletes in general, and not necessarily, we're going to talk hitting and stuff. I know that, but it's going to be a little bit more broad of the youth baseball spectrum. So that's going to be fun.
Most definitely. I do want to give a shout out to OSU players that came in and trained with us here at Driveline. Uh, I think they put out a message or a graphic. The top 5 hardest hit baseballs over a weekend where they played CSUN. All 5 baseballs were hit from players that trained at Driveline the summer prior. That I was thankfully enough able to kind of work with. I wasn't their trainer, but obviously, like in the day-to-day mixing in groups and stuff like that. That's been pretty cool. I want to give a shout out to one of my trainees, Jake Weaver. He's absolutely killing it. I think he's almost batting like 425 down in Texas JUCOs. So like very much am wanting to still be able to work with you guys and different things like that. To all of the athletes I've been able to work with, like congratulations and where you're at with your successes and different things like that. But like Byrne said, very excited to kind of be able to move into this little bit more broad spectrum kind of discussions. Yeah, pretty pumped.
Also baseball, which is fun. I got a bone to pick though. I'm so
What you
sick
got?
of some of these junior colleges. Like, post your stats, man. Like, I try to pick alumni of the week every week, and like, you fucking don't post your stats. How am I supposed to do that? Like, what are we talking about? I was talking with my brother, like, and when he was following me down when I was at Garden, and even following one of his buddies who played at Garden like 3 years before, he was like, it was way easier to follow games and look at stats than it is now for some reason. And like, I don't know what's happening. I don't understand it. Some schools are actually really good at it, and also those schools are pretty solid at baseball and run good programs. Others aren't and don't post their stats, so there might be a correlation there, but I don't know. But yeah, it's just really annoying. Figure it out.
Who would have thought that the better programs are run a little bit better all around? It's a crazy concept.
It is crazy. Crazy thing.
I was going through, so with my role of recruiting coordinator, we've done a massive push with field level. And so that's been one of the things that we've been trying to utilize as much as possible. We're recording this on the March 15th. If you're listening right now, go back, see if you can find Driveline Academy's social account on Twitter. Well, actually, any socials. I'm going to be putting out a thing of essentially how much traction we've been getting with field level and what we've been doing since the beginning of the year and different things like that. And I was going through and I had one school reach out to me that they were wanting some of our players, but it was very much of like, I need you to do this. Like, they essentially said I need to go through and find like what athletes they're needing, like what roles they're looking for, and like I need to then ask any of my athletes, who wants to go to this more remote location and play, D3 baseball, different things like that. And so one kind of like, I feel like this is a little bit of like your job. Like, do you want any of my players? If not, like, okay, but like, don't make me jump through all these hoops. Go to the website. Guess who hasn't posted anything since 2021? It's like, oh, this makes a lot of sense. Okay. Now, it has been a lot of fun going through on the recruiting side and different things like that. One of the things that has been a big for me, and I kind of want to hear like what your thoughts are on it, Mr. Burns, is athletes are there's a strong split, I would say. You have some athletes that are lazy as hell, and then you have some athletes that are like pretty proactive. And I had a school reach out to me and literally say, "We are trying to offer one of your players. They are not responding, and they don't have any transcripts on their profile." And it's like, I literally asked so little, I feel like, of some of these players. Where it's like, hey, I sent you this link, sign up with it, fill out the 7 questions that it asks you initially, throw in a video of you playing, respond to messages. And you got a school that's literally wanting to pay you to come to their school, and you won't respond. Where are your thoughts on that? Where are you at?
I mean, obviously, it's going to be like for these athletes, there's going to be schools that are going to reach out that, you know, you're necessarily like, I don't want to go there. And that's fine, right? You got to play the game. You don't necessarily have to like lead a school on, but talk to them. Like, you know, if they're shooting your shot, and there's something to be said too about like go where you're wanted, right? And I don't know what that kid's situation is, whatever it may be. Um, you know, and it could be a thing if he maybe thinks he's better than he is, and then it suddenly turns out, oh, I don't have any offers to the schools I want, and now you don't have anything to fall back on because you were talking to these lower level schools. Uh, you just never know, right? You have to play the game, and you have to indulge in these schools and have conversations with them. E- Even if you maybe don't end up signing there too, that could be a good fit. You know, maybe you end up signing somewhere else and you don't like it. You message that one coach and you're like, hey, can I transfer? You know, they might be not very open to that because it's like, well, dude, we offered you, like, you weren't really talking to us at all, like you didn't really give us the time of day. Or it's like, man, I had like 4 or 5 really good conversations with this kid, and he was very open and just didn't pick us. And like, yeah, man, I will take you, right? Um, you gotta be open to everything, and you have to be a human being with it, right? Like, just be a good person with it. That's kind of the biggest thing. Like, but, you know, you gotta have. I mean, especially these kids, it's not easy, I guess, to tell a school that you're not going there after they've shown so much interest. But like, it goes a long way to calling a school, calling a coach, and just saying, hey, I really appreciate the conversations we've had. I really appreciate the offer. I'm going with a different direction, but thank you very much. Goes a long way. You doing that, that coach, you know, will remember you as being a good person. And ultimately, that's, you know, baseball is one thing, and talent only gets you so far. But like, if you have good character and you have good qualities, those coaches are going to give you opportunities to have better chances. So, yeah, no, that's just dumb. That's my hand.
I'll use a personal story um of exactly what you just kind of like walked through. And what I essentially tell the athletes that I've been chatting with is the coaching cycle is generally on 10 months. So a lot of these coaches are on 10-month contracts. Just because you do not want to play at the school that they are possibly currently at right now, when they go to a new school, they're probably going to be tasked with, hey, you need to start recruiting. If they can, in their back of their head, go, hey, I remember this one kid that I already, went through the processes of vetting and checking and saying that I like. He just didn't like the school I was at. Well, now I'm at a different school that is what he wanted. Let me call them up now. Um, I originally did not go to Garden City. I got recruited by 2 different schools at minimal, the one that I went to and then Garden City. The one that I went to, thought was going to be the school that I needed to go to. So I told Finney, the coach at Garden City at the time, I was like, hey, man, I appreciate your time. I'm going to be looking to go another route. He said, if anything changes, let me know. I get halfway through my first semester of my freshman year, and guess what? Call up Finney. I said, hey, dude, uh, not going great. Want to see what's up. And so he ended up being willing to walk me through the process, offered me, and I went through another kind of recruiting process of talking to some other JUCOs and decided that I want to go to Garden City, and went to Garden City. All because I didn't say fuck you, like I'm better than junior college, or I don't want to go to Kansas, or this or that. Like, kept my options open, and out of the three schools I played baseball at, Garden City is by far my number one school that I enjoyed the most amount of time. I enjoyed the people the most. I enjoyed playing the most. I enjoyed the town the most. Like, by far the most fun that I had was to a school that I originally said no to. So yeah, pretty dumb.
Um, it goes both ways though. I like there's also some coaches out there that suck. And
Well, yeah.
like we had this one, I don't know what happened with this guy, but he offered one of our guys and offered a couple of our guys. And anyway, kind of time keeps going through. This one kid decides, okay, I'm gonna take this offer. I want to go here. Message him like, hey, can we set up a call? Nothing. Text again, nothing. Calls him, leaves a voicemail, and he's literally saying like, I want to commit. Like I'm ready to commit. Voicemail, nothing. We call him, nothing. Just completely ghosted us. And it was just like, what the hell? And like it goes both ways. There's some like that's just bullshit if you're a coach, if you do that stuff. Like you just be like it just goes just be a good person. Just be a good human being. Like it's ridiculous. Like you're offering that kid and he thinks he's gonna go to your school and then you just completely shut it down. Don't even say anything like that damages a kid's psyche right there. That does some serious damage to a kid. That's just not okay.
And the amount of conversations I've been having. So to discuss a little bit more about field level and the tweet that you're going to see here in a little bit, I believe I have close to 1,500 connections on field level. And so that's essentially me going through and sending a message to 1,500 different coaches and introducing myself and going through like this process. I send them over my phone number. I have a little link to if they would like to join a Teams meeting and set up a time for that, which is currently what Burns and I are recording on due to technical difficulties from Streamlabs earlier this morning. So shout out for that. And the conversations I've had with some of these schools, and it's like I have a conversation with a school that's technically a club team that is in Canada actually, and they're literally doing anything and everything that they humanly can do to improve player development for their players, and trying to become a part of the school. So apparently they were a part of the school, and then something happened, and then they weren't a part of the school, but they stayed as a club team, and like they're doing volunteer work. And he told me that they're a part of two different gyms and the programs that they're partnering with and different things like that. And you go over and you talk to another school that has not as many hurdles in front of them, and it's kind of just like, yeah, I don't know, like whatever players you want to send over, let me know if they're interested. And it's like, well, you got one school that's in a not the greatest situation, doing anything and everything that they humanly can to try and one, recruit players, and two, improve their players. You have another school that's like, I really don't care what they do. You can send them my number if you want. I don't care. Yeah. And it's like absolutely mind-boggling to me the spectrum of college coaches that we have and the different types of people that we have, and it's insane, man. The future of some of our players' careers.
Yep, absolutely.
Let's see here. Well, episode 1 of season 3.
Sure.
It will get better, folks. We'll get back into the groove of things. We'll actually have to where we'll probably start getting guests on. Like I said, we'll reach out to Mr. JP Fizzle and see what's going on with him, and see if there's some days I can line up. I know I've talked with some guests that will be coming up here in the future that are going to be like some of the. If you go back into the Hit Chat Chit Chat catalog, the OG guests I got onto this podcast, insane. We're going to be getting back to that list. We're going to get back to the 3, 4, 5 hitters for guests and different things like that. Very excited to have some of these people on. And until then, Mr. Burns, where can the people find you, sir?
At AHP Hitting on Instagram. And then at Burnsa, BURNS
Double A?
Yeah.
That was 3 A's. That was 3 A's.
Just 2.
That's tough. Beautiful. For everybody that's looking for me, Driveline _RBI. For anyone that doesn't know, RBI stands for Reynolds batting instruction. That's why I put together a long ass time ago. So if you've noticed, any facility that I've gone to, I've had the facility name at the front and then RBI at the end. Reynolds batting instruction.
And runs batted in.
Look at this guy.
Pretty crazy.
This guy does baseball.
That's what they say.
Well, appreciate everyone for tuning in. Thank you guys. And until next week. Bye.